Breaking news from KHON2, happening now.
We interrupt regularly scheduled programming for an update on Hurricane Douglas. Now, Hurricane Douglas is forecast to slowly weaken as it approaches the Hawaiian Islands. Even the satellite presentation of this hurricane is starting to get a bit ragged compared to even 12 to 24 hours ago. It appears that wind shear is starting to interrupt the flow of the system. You see these high clouds fanning out, and you also are moving into an environment where the waters are slightly cooler, and that will help slow the system down in terms of any kind of intensity. Now, the good news from the 11 o'clock update is that, yes, there has been a decrease in wind speeds around the center of the system. It's not as drastic, however, as previously forecasted. I was hoping to see those wind speeds around 105 miles per hour during this update. They have decreased down to about 110. Now, as of 5 o'clock, they were at 115. It's a slight decrease. The movement is still around 17, 18 miles per hour, and it, of course, has nudged closer to the state of Hawaii, 555 miles east of Hilo, Hawaii. That being said, it is still a very strong possibility that we could have a Category 1 system over to the north of the central portions of the state. The last update had this area here, and I'll point it out to you so you can see it. The icon here was a tropical storm, even over Kauai, but now it looks like it might hold on to a weak tropical or weak hurricane with winds around 75 miles per hour north of Oahu and north of Maui County, even a Category 1 north of the Big Island. The other change is that the entire track itself kind of expanded, and we've been seeing this trend over the past few days. It used to be very compact, and that just means the different forecast models are starting to have more of a disagreement in the latter portions of the days on out from now. They're starting to spread apart, but it's still a pretty nice small cluster over the state and even before that. So that's the only real difference. And I do want to point out something, that even though it looks like pretty much the vast majority of the Big Island is out of the cone of uncertainty, all that means is that as of this update, the center of the system is highly unlikely to move over the Big Island itself and make a direct hit. But of course, the impacts are felt far beyond the center of the system. In fact, even as it passes to the north, it's going to draw moisture from the south, and we could still see some very heavy rain, strong storm surge, as well as strong winds. By the time it is west of Kauai, you'll see that at this point, it's forecast to be about 70 miles per hour, just under Category 1 status. So again, it's weakening, but not at a rate that was previously forecast, but it's still overall going to transition from a Category 1 into a tropical storm as it makes its way to the north of the island chain. That being said, we're going to take a look at the rain model right now, and you can see the center of it still to the north of the Big Island, even to the north. This follows that forecast track, by the way, to the north of Maui County and to the north of Oahu and eventually to Kauai. And all of this rain is going to be pulled in from the south. Initially, it's going to be pulled in from the north, but because these things spin counterclockwise, a lot of tropical moisture is going to be pulled into Kauai, Oahu, Maui County, and the Big Island. Look at the Big Island still seeing heavy rain, and the system is by Kauai. And that's because it's important to note that even though the Big Island is not within that cone of uncertainty, there's still going to be impacts felt. All right, let's talk about the rain impacts. I did adjust the Big Island's timing of the heaviest rain. I changed it from Saturday night to Sunday midnight, pretty much throughout the course of the day based on that last forecast model. So for the Big Island and Maui County, it's Sunday pretty much all day long, with the Big Island starting in the wee hours of the morning, lasting through night. Maui County is pretty much sun up, sundown that could see the heaviest rain. Oahu still remains Sunday afternoon into Monday morning, seeing the heaviest shower activity. And Kauai is definitely a Sunday night in through Monday afternoon situation. So overall, Sunday, Monday do remain the key days of this system. It does eventually weaken to a Cat 1 hurricane or tropical storm, but at what point that transition takes place, whether it be near the Big Island or over the central portions of the state, that's still kind of up in the air. That's an intensity issue, but the track looks pretty solid at this point. Heavy rain, storm surge, and strong winds. And the heavy rain, broad brush, anywhere from 3 to 10 inches of heavy rain Sunday through Monday. Storm surge anywhere from 1 to 3 feet, and strong winds anywhere from 30 to 60 miles per hour sustained, with stronger gusts as well. So little changes in that, and of course things will evolve daily, and we have daily Douglas updates. Next one's going to be at 5 a.m. That is going to be on our website, KHON2.com. Kelly Simek will take care of that one. We'll also post it on Facebook and do a Facebook Live. Then I'll take over online and on air tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And then from that point, we will have coverage throughout the course of the weekend. Of course, if you don't want to go and waste your time trying to look for information, just download the KHON2 mobile app. We'll always do push alerts with every update. And of course, we'll update Douglas on the go and online and on air during every newscast as we see Douglas move towards the islands while weakening and making its exit out of the state late Monday in through Tuesday. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next 5 a.m. update tomorrow morning and 11 a.m. and perhaps beyond.